As already we have studied about that the structure passing through the brainstem, isn't it? So what are the structure which are, for example, this is a brainstem, what we have already studied about. This is a brainstem and we have three parts here: midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. And we have the cerebellum here, and below we have spinal cord, above we have cerebellum, right? So we have the tracts which are going to cross through the brainstem, isn't it? So tracts present here, right? So these are not only related with the medulla oblongata, they have to cross through the pons and the midbrain. That we have to study. Okay, then there are some tracts which crossing from above downwards to the cortex to spinal cord, the descending tracts. Okay, ascending is sensory components, descending is motor components, right? So these two are also present in the medulla oblongata, right? And what we have? We have some fibers. Back fibers are there. The back fibers are nothing but the cerebellar fibers. Okay, so it may be from the medulla to cerebellum. Okay, in this section we study what are the fibers which connects from the medulla to the cerebellum, and there are some anterolateral connections are there, which are nothing but the cranial connections. So almost what we are going to study? We are going to study the ascending components, okay, and we are going to study descending components. Then we are going to study cerebellar components, okay, and we have to study cranial nerve components, right? So other than that, nothing is there inside the brainstem. Or if you study those things, our internal structure is easy. But before studying the cross section, the knowledge about, the brief knowledge about all these things is necessary to understand their places in the clear-cut understanding. Okay, first we'll start with the ascending components. Before that, rather than the components are there, but in the center part of the, tegmentum part of the all brainstem, including the medulla oblongata, there are the pieces of small pieces of the gray matter granule like nucleus are present. You know what it is? So here in the center of this brainstem there is granules, or the small pieces of the gray matter and white matter mixed portion is there. That is a reticular formation is also there, right? So we'll study from the reticular formation first, then the ascending, descending, cerebellar and the cranial components. The brief about them. Later we are going to study about the cross-sectional study, right? This reticular formation in the brainstem, it is there, as we already know these things, which has its connection through the thalamus. This is an interthalamic, if you see the thalamus, there is an interthalamic lamina is there, and there inside the interthalamic lamina there are some again gray matters are there. The fibers of reticular formations are get connected these nuclear, and from here everywhere in the brain they are going to the supply, its connection is there, and this reticular formation actually acts as a switch on and switch off button for the cerebral functions. So that's not my concern now, but my concern is that in this reticular formation has the very important nuclei related. This is the pons medulla oblongata. Here there are very important nuclei related with the medulla oblongata, and these are called as cardiac centers. They are called as the cardiac centers. They are called as vasomotor centers, and the GIT motility center. Okay, motility centers. All those very important the nuclei which present here in the reticular formation of the medulla oblongata. That's the reason why and many cranial nuclei are also present in the medulla oblongata. That's the reason why if a tumor of the medulla oblongata is very delicate to cure, or it's somewhat very important, no neurosurgeon are going to touch it, because the vital organs are present which controls the vasodilation, vasoconstriction of the blood vessels, which controls the heartbeats, even the respiratory centers. Even it has respiratory centers. Especially the inhalation center, particularly technically speaking, it influences the inhalation. Exhalation is a passive way. Inhalation of the respiration is controlled by here. The cardiac centers are there, vasomotor centers are there, and there are some very important things are there which I am going to discuss at the last or in some other video related with some of the clinical aspect of this. Okay, so this is about the centers of a medulla oblongata. Okay, where they are present in the reticular formation. Right. Ascending tracts of medulla oblongata. So what are the major ascending tracts are there? So one thing we already know about this fasciculus cuneatus and the fasciculus gracilis. They are the ascending tracts. So what do we do if it is a right? Fasciculus gracilis, and this is a fasciculus cuneatus. So this is a fasciculus gracilis, both are here and here, and this one is a fasciculus cuneatus, right? As they come upwards, as already we know, in the medulla oblongata, what they will do, they are going to end in the here it is a tubercle which outside the tubercle of a gracilis, tubercle of the cuneatus are there, but inside what are there? The gracilis nucleus and the cuneatus nucleus are there, and this is a gracilis nucleus. These are the gracilis nucleus, and there is a cuneatus nucleus. Okay, cuneatus nucleus. So what they do, the fibers from the fasciculus cuneatus are going to end up here, right? The first order neurons of the fasciculus cuneatus is going to end up here to the nucleus, cuneate nucleus. Then the first order neuron of the gracilis nucleus are also going to end up here, right? And this will have the plenty of cell body related with the second order neuron. Okay, this will also have the neuron cell bodies of second order neuron. So after this, what will happen? The fibers. Okay, I will remove this one. Okay, the fibers from the second order neuron are going to cross on opposite side. Okay, they are going to cross on opposite side. Okay, this also on opposite side, right? And these also on the opposite side. And after crossing, they are going to run upwards as a single bundle. Okay, so here the fasciculus gracilis, fasciculus cuneatus and the fasciculus gracilis both are going to end up in the nucleus gracilis and the nucleus cuneatus. From there, the second order neurons are going to arise. Both each side of the gracilis and tubercle fibers are going to mix up, and the mixed fibers are going to get crossed and form a separate individual bundle, and they are going to run upwards. Right? The crisscross crossing over, this is a sensory fibers and this is called as a sensory decusation. Right? This is a sensory decusation, and the crossing over of this sensory decusation is called as a internal arcuate fibers, or it's called as internal arcuate fibers. Right? This is internal arcuate fibers. When they will form a single bundle and they run upwards, since the bundle is not circular, the bundle is little bit flattened in shape. It is not circular, the flat. Almost the flat bundles of the neurons are called as the lemnisci, and the round bundle of the nerve bundle is called as a fasciculus. Okay, and that's the reason why it's called as a lemniscus. And this is they present in the medial aspect of the brain stem, and they are called as a medial lemniscus. Okay, it's called as a medial lemniscus, and this is going to present inside the brain stem, right? In the brain stem, we have lower cross section of the medulla oblongata, we have fasciculus gracilis, and some part of the nucleus of the cuneatus and the gracilis. Here the fasciculus of the gracilis and the cuneatus we have. Later in the upper part of the next section, what we will have? The sensory decusation, that is the internal arcuate fibers. Internal arcuate fibers are nothing but carrying the sensation of the same continuation of the same time. Okay, next, if you take a section little bit more upward towards the pons, just below the pons, if you take a cross section, you will find the medial lemniscus in the medulla oblongata. Right? And this medial lemniscus is present in the pons, is present in the midbrain also. Right? So this is what the change of names are going to take place, which is important to remember. Lower side, the same sensation which are carried by the fasciculus cuneatus and gracilis will end in the nucleus of gracilis and the cuneatus, and they will cross over, and the crossing over fibers are called as arcuate fibers, and they are going to run, same fibers are going to carry upwards, and that bundle is called as a medial lemniscus. Remember, all this is important to know. Right? This is the one part of ascending tract. What other ascending tracts we have? This is a dorsal column ascending. Right? We have the medulla oblongata and we have spinal cord. In the spinal cord, we have another tract system here. Right? So we have one tract here, which is going to arise on the lateral side, anterior side. Right? And these fibers running here, and this is this is lateral spinothalamic tract. Another one is here, and this is anterior spinothalamic tract. Right? Lateral spinothalamic tract is going to carry pain and temperature part. Okay, the pain and temperature, right? And this anterior spinothalamic tract is going to carry crude touch. Okay, crude touch. There is another one fiber which is present here. Okay, which is going to the tectum part of the midbrain. What is this? Spinotectal tract. This is a spinotectal tract. Right? So all these, the lateral spinothalamic tract and the anterior spinothalamic tract carrying the pain and temperature and the crude touch. Along with the spinotectal tract, they collect here. Okay, they collect here and form a single bundle. Okay, on the lateral side, the fibers of on the medial side, the bundles of anterior thalamic, and here the lateral spinothalamic, and in the center there are tectospinal tract is there. All these together will form a bundle. All these together will form the bundle, and the same thing will be on the other side. Right? Okay. All together will form a single bundle. Right? In this bundle, which present in the medulla oblongata, which contain the fibers from this is the anterior spinothalamic tract and the lateral spinothalamic tract and the parts of the spinotectal tract. Right? All together, this is called as a spinal lemniscus. It's called as a spinal lemniscus. Okay, this is a spinal lemniscus on the both side of the medulla oblongata. Spinal lemniscus will contain all these three tracts. This is about the major ascending tracts of the spinal cord which present in the brainstem. Now we'll see about the descending tract also. This is about the ascending tracts. Now we'll see about descending tracts. So we'll see about the descending tracts of the spinal cord. Okay, what are the fibers, major fibers which are coming from the cerebrum to the spinal cord? There are the corticospinal tract majorly and the extra. This is called as a pyramidal tract, and there are extra pyramidal tracts are also there, right? So we'll see majorly one as a corticospinal tract here. As we know that, remember we have discussed about the cross section of this the general study of this midbrain. This is a tectum, tegmentum, and the basis, and the basis which contains the descending tracts of the brainstem. Tectum contains ascending tracts. You remember? Okay. So where this our descending tracts should come? They have to come in the basis, front part of the medulla oblongata. This is our pyramid, and olives are there here. Correct? What is this? They are coming from above cortex, cerebral cortex. They are coming from cerebral cortex to the medulla oblongata. From here, they are going to cross the medulla oblongata. Okay? So in the medulla oblongata, certain part it runs downwards like this. In the lower part of the medulla oblongata, the fibers are going to cross on each side. Right? And they are going to run downwards. Okay? So the fibers which are running, they are going to cross on either side. Okay? Corticospinal tracts. Right? About 90 to 95% of the fibers of the corticospinal tracts they are going to cross out. But another 5 to 10% of the fibers from the medial side, okay, from the medial side of the corticospinal tract, they do not cross, they run downwards like the same side. Right? Same side. Okay, what they do in the spinal cord? Okay, we draw the spinal cord also here, right? Okay, here is our spinal cord. So what this is going to do? This crossed portion is going to come over here and form which tract we have studied about the descending tracts. Okay, here it's going to end up. They are the both are corticospinal tracts only, isn't it? This is also corticospinal tract, and this is also corticospinal tract, right? So this is present anteriorly, it's called as an anterior corticospinal tract, and this present laterally, it's called as a lateral corticospinal tract. Both are the fibers formed. They are present in the pyramid of the middle oblongata. They are called as a pyramidal tracts. Due to the pyramidal tracts are going to decussate, the major motor decussation, and that area is called as a pyramidal decussation. Okay, so I hope you understood this one. So this is a major descending tract, and the ascending tracts are over.